Why are we suffering? If you ask 100 people in the sansar, 99 will say the sansar is suffering. And yet everybody wants to live with the hope that suffering will go away. We never realize that suffering is chosen by us. We choose our sufferings. There is so much diversity in sansar, the same way sufferings are also diversified. You may have different objects of pleasure, but suffering is the same. What hurts at your mind level is real. A lot of sufferings are obvious. We want the objects of pleasure, and then when we have to face the consequences, we don't like it, we suffer. That's obvious. People eat wrong foods and gain weight. Blood sugar goes up, and now they have more headaches to deal with, new disease, new lifestyle, checking their blood sugars, going to the doctors, worrying about consequences. Now, this suffering is obviously a chosen suffering. That is obvious. We want to play with the stock market. We want to play the gamble in life. So we want to play the stock market and expect to win every single time. When that does not happen, we suffer. We want our spouse to follow our ideas, our beliefs, and when that does not happen, we suffer. All these sufferings are chosen by us. We want outside temperatures to remain according to your desires, your needs, your ideas, and it does not happen. You suffer. We want the world to behave according to us, and it does not behave. That becomes the cause of suffering. We want our body to stay young forever, and it doesn't. We suffer. We expect people to praise us all the time, like us all the time, pay attention to us all the time. Does not happen. We suffer. There are millions of ways we have discovered to choose the suffering. So you take a pick, you decide what choice, what kind of choice you have made to lead to the suffering. Your objects may be different. Your desires may be different. But every time that desire gets blocked or does not result into the way you wanted, the suffering starts. Suffering at the mind level is the same. So we just refuse to grow up. We want things from sansar. But sansar is not here to give you anything. If at all, sansar is here to take something from you. Your time, your energy, and your physical body. Everything is on the losing streak, and yet we try to hold on. We try to grow. We try to accumulate. It's a losing battle. The suffering is our choice. The same way, freedom from suffering is also our choice. We are the choices. All these choices put together makes us. And all our ideas, beliefs, these are part of our centralized ego. Ego has its weapons. The weapons are ideas, beliefs. It wants to protect itself against the world. The ego divides the world. You and someone else. You and your spouse. You and the world. You and your friend. You and your customer. These are differences created by the ego, and that's the only way ego can survive and make you keep fighting, keep choosing newer and newer and newer goals. And still we don't learn. Every fight that we pick up, we try to snatch something from the society. We want attention from the people. To get their attention, we are ready to do anything. We are ready to poison our body with colorful dyes, colorful lipsticks, high heels, from which we may even fall, tight clothes, even though they may not be comfortable, expensive suits, even though we may not be able to afford, expensive cars, even if we cannot afford. We go through a lot of efforts so that people can recognize us. We are doing it for their recognition, not for our pleasure. So we have invented many ways to suffer. Our suffering is tied to the future because the results of whatever we're doing now are going to be in the future. We think future is in our hands. While we make a choice or when we decide to change the things, we are always guaranteed, we are so sure in our mind that it is going to happen the way we want it. But sansar has its own gati, sansar has its own motion, and we never realize that. We never realize that our teenage son, why he doesn't want to listen, is because he has his own consciousness within him. Even we don't know our own consciousness. We don't know our own soul. How can we appreciate somebody else's soul? He or she has their own way of thinking, and we want to change that. So, putting all these things together, it seems ego has taken or invented millions of ways to survive. And that results into millions of ways of suffering. Sansar is suffering, not in a negative way, but that is the nature of sansar. Sansar is the name of suffering. Everything put together, our egos, everybody else's egos, just the way we want to change someone else is trying to change us. At a very subtle level, fights are going on, frictions are going on, minds are being lost, loves are being lost, anxiety, suffering, grief. All these things has become so common that universal opinion is that samsara is suffering. And it's exactly true. Then where is the peace? Sufferings can be many, but solution is only one, is to know your own soul, know your own consciousness, know your own Atma. So far all your journeys have been towards the samsara. Now take only one more journey to the soul through meditation. Going out and choose our suffering has been the way of our life. So we have created our sufferings by our choices. So we have to make one more choice of coming out of all these things, and not by hating the samsara, because samsara has nothing to do with this. It was our choice that caused our suffering. So realize this mistake, stupidity, foolishness of our own mind. Go within and merge with the infinite consciousness. That's where the unlimited source of joy is, where there is no suffering. Samsara will behave and keep behaving the way it is. It is not here to give you anything. It is not here to give you love. It is not here to give you recognition. Unless you want to sacrifice your peace, then samsara will give you attention. So give up your race towards samsara, looking for anything from samsara, and find that peace within you, which is ever present, infinite, abundant, and never broken. Have a good day.